Donde Mayor, Sie sind die Besten. These are the champions. Die Meister, die Besten. Les grandes équipes, the champions.
Thanks.
Okay, dang.
Wow,
Thanks for that great
that was amazing.
intro music, Joel.
Yeah.
Champions
Well, I
League.
wasn't singing,
What?
but it would probably be worse if it was me.
Welcome everybody to the CantinaMX podcast, episode 190, 191, 191 episodes. We have Joel and Jaime. Welcome, you guys. How's it going?
How we doing, man? It's Friday. Thank God.
Yep, end of the week.
It is indeed, and while we mostly talk about Liga MX, we can't ignore what was been going on in the Champions League. And there was two epic games recently which was Tottenham versus Ajax, and then Barcelona crashing out when they were favorites, that 3-0 lead, and then losing to Liverpool in epic fashion. Did you guys catch the games?
Yeah. 3-0 lead doesn't mean anything in Champions League, apparently. Yeah.
I know, but it was against Barca, so I mean, it
and people forget. Roma did the same thing to him last year.
That's I forgot. You could add me to that list. I forgot, but and also Tottenham was missing some of their players.
Yeah.
And so was it that guy More Salad, and I don't know who else, but yeah.
Liverpool had no business winning that game. I mean, I know it's Anfield, and I've been to Anfield, and it's a very intimate but like intense environment. And to see that comeback was, I mean, both games were incredible. I definitely feel for Ajax though; they were kind of like the underdog, and I really wanted them to see it through, but Spurs absolutely deserved that victory. All the teams did.
Yeah, after that goal, you see all the players just drop to the floor. There's like maybe one or two, but like the majority just they just crashed. Oh man, I think I got the player wrong. Where does Salad play? He's in Liverpool.
Salah is
Salah's Liverpool, yeah. You're right.
All right, I had him wrong.
No, you're saying Tottenham.
I had him wrong because I was thinking of Tottenham because I know they were, they have Pochettino and he had injuries, and then supposedly, from what I've read, no refuerzos. No refuerzos. It sounds like he sounds perfect for Chivas.
Yeah. That Ajax game, like when they lost, it was that goal, like last minute. It was giving me flashbacks of when Chivas lost to Pachuca in that semifinal.
Oh, was it the Calero goal?
Yeah, it was like that same feeling. Like, man, we were so close to doing it with like a team that had no business, going to the final because it was during the World Cup, so we didn't have any players. They were all in that squad. It was a bunch of like players from the academy. So I feel like Ajax is the same thing. It was a bunch of players that had no business like making it that far, and they were so close from pulling it off. And then they're going to get dismantled next season, So it's like that was like their one chance of doing something, because Frankie de Jong and De Ligt are, I mean, pretty much in bed with Barcelona right now.
Yeah, man, that academy, man, their coffers are gonna be filled with, they're gonna have enough shopping money.
And it's funny because they say, "Oh, Ajax and Barcelona have like the same DNA," and they were right because they both they both lost.
Yeah. Oh man, poor Cruyff. But we had wait, where is he at? Because I wanted to point something out about about you know,
I Yeah. While you think of that, I have a question for you guys.
I
Do
mean,
you think Linus would have made an impact had he
oh,
had picked Ajax over Betis?
in the
it's hard to tell. For me, it's hard to tell because I mean, it remains to be seen if he would have been a starter. Would he have breaking into that team starting lineup, or would he still be like fighting for a position in the first team or riding the pine?
They did. I think they did really well with what they had. I don't know if he would have made an impact in maybe in regular season games, but in the Champions League, I don't know if it would have made much of a difference. They were playing really like everyone was praising their passing and just the way they were moving around the ball, and then would score the goals and everything in the previous Champions League games.
I think for me, it would be a bold assumption and to assume that Linus would have been a starter at Ajax.
Yeah,
I think he would probably be coming off the bench, similar like to the way he's doing at Betis, but instead of 15 minutes, probably coming on like minute 60, getting like 30 minutes of play. But to assume like, oh, Linus should have picked Ajax, they would have made it to the final. Like, that's just how we are as Mexicans,
You, but we must also think about the long run payoff, and that's by being in Spain, he could get European. He could
Passport.
become a EU national, like
Is
European
it
Union.
faster in Spain than it is in
Yes,
Holland? Oh, it is.
especially if you're Latin American and you're in Spain, it is gonna be a faster transition, which was where Ochoa messed up because he was living in France and he just needed to stay like one more year. And I believe his son had been born there, so he left to Spain, and then he didn't even stay in Spain. He ended up in Belgium, and that's it has hurt him. He's still in Belgium, but if he would have stayed in France, uh, I would say that he would have had a better shot of being in in a better league.
And there's heavy talks about him possibly joining Chicago Fire. So
Oh,
he needs to fire his agent like 5 years ago.
well,
No,
I
like,
mean, but
like
hey, you could be freezing your nuts off in Belgium, or you could be, he could be hanging out with Bob over there in Chicago, enjoying some tortas or something. No, I mean, if you get the payoff, this guy's been hustling since he was 18. I mean,
how old is he now? He's like in his 30s, right? Like
yeah,
30.
yeah, and he still has like 2 World Cups left. I could see him
2 World
being
Cups.
El Seis Copas. Yeah, I could see him breaking that 5 cup. Maybe not because he didn't play. He hasn't played in all of the cups, but he would have still been called up to like 6.
He's 33. I just looked it up. And as much as I would love Ochoa to break the
He,
record, it is concerning that we don't really have a goalkeeper that's like ready to take that spotlight. Like we have Ochoa, and then everybody else is kind of just like
yeah.
no names.
Well,
Coutinho's not the truth, unfortunately. Like he's shown that he's very prone to accidents, and I mean we don't really have anybody stepping it up in the.
no, but Jaime, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Gold Cup is soon to come. No, we will get there though. But just to finish up on the champions, one thing I've noticed. Well, I noticed 2 things. One, we could say we're beginning to see the beginning of the end for the whole Messi Ronaldo era when they would dominate, and they're both already like in their mid 30s.
Mhm.
So we might not see them again in winning or lifting the La Orejona. So that's just damn. Not a criticism, they were there. They were the biggest stars for a long time, but now it's like they're slowly edging out, and we're going to see new players. The second one was with the coaches because we saw that the teams los aguantaron and they got their teams to the final. So the Pochettino, he arrived 2014, hasn't really won anything, but he has a team now. And same with Klopp, Jurgen Klopp with Liverpool. I was hearing criticized before the Barca match because, especially after they had lost 3-0, and they were saying how in 3 years he had not won anything. But now he has a team playing the, biggest final the team could play. So I was just saying, like, 3 years, even 4, it's not really a long time, but I guess like the way society is, like we're used to everything fast. It does seem like a long time for us, and in Mexico even more because it's doble torneo. So instead of saying he hasn't won anything in 3 torneos, it's 6.
Yeah, and obviously in Mexico, everyone's on a short leash. Like you go 5 games without winning, and you're axed like immediately, and it's like, wow, really? Like,
yeah, all of a sudden you suck. It's tough, man. It's tough. So
one thing, on real quick on Messi, there was a video of him walking just past the press and not talking to anyone. There was some criticism.
Who, Messi?
Yeah, Messi. After the loss, after the elimination.
I'll never forget when he lost the Copa America like for the second time in a row, and he said, "Ya estuvo, like I'm retiring," and we're like, "What?" Like,
it's emotions. I mean, and that's my point. Is I sort of want to say like I don't criticize him for getting upset, getting emotional, or maybe not wanting to talk to the press. I also think about what happened just recently in the Conca Champions, where Nahuel, he just was fighting Layun after the waiting for the second place or the trophy medals and all that stuff, and everyone was calling him like a sore loser, and things like that. I think that it's just a characteristic of people who are competitive and who want to win and who eventually are champions, and it happens to even the greatest players like Messi. So I don't see it as a defect. I see it as just a competitive drive where you're not satisfied getting second place, you're not satisfied, or you're not happy seeing somebody. I would even want to leave the whole pitch instead of getting some second place medal. I wouldn't even want to be out there. I mean, I'll congratulate face, but to stand out there and watch all that stuff, I'm out of there.
Yeah, I would say like nobody likes to lose, man, especially at that level. But it's also like how you carry yourself in defeat. I think that's how it defines you as a character. And obviously, like the sore losers, the drama queens, like those are the ones that get the most press because it's like, wow, it's like it's not about you. It's like it's the whole team. So I've always respected people that handle like defeat a little bit more like respectful but yeah, obviously inside you're just livid. You just want to leave. You just want to mess everything up. So Messi, I just feel like he's been on the receiving end of this for a long time. He really thought this was going to be the year Barca won everything, and he's watched Ronaldo win 3 Champions Leagues in a row. So it's like he's definitely had like a big chip on his shoulder, and for him not to produce the results, I think that's what's getting to him. And he's got, like you said, not too much time left, before he starts to plateau and start to decline.
Yeah, they're showing clips of previous times that he won. He looked like a young kid with the long hair and everything, like a young little face, and now he's a totally different guy. Still great, but it's getting to that point.
I always Messi has this look. He gets this look in his face, and I always felt that he's like on the spectrum. Like he has like mild autism. He's kind of like Rain Man. You put him to play cards, but then once once the game ends, he's like, doesn't know what to do. So I kind of seen it with Messi where the game ends and he has this lost look in his face. He doesn't know what to do next.
I know what you're talking about.
You seen it?
Yeah, I think he's just an introverted person by
There you go. I should
default.
have said introverted.
Yeah, he's like one of those kids that just like brilliant but doesn't like to brag or anything. He's just a very humble and introverted person, and you can tell like earlier in his career he was very uncomfortable being in front of the camera and doing interviews, and I don't think he's still used to it, but he does his best.
Yeah. Well, we could talk about Liga MX now. Liguilla.
Yeah.
The Liguilla kicked off, and we had first we had what was it? The first match was Cholos losing to León, and I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Oscar Pareja. I don't know if that's a meme where they ask him a question and he doesn't know how to answer.
I haven't seen that.
You guys haven't seen it. We was gonna get the clip to play it, and it kind of seems like a meme. He's just like almost like that one Maradona when they asked him about like Mexican football. Yeah, it was very similar to that. But 3-1, Yon is not here. I wanted to, because he was saying the curse of the
First
the
place.
curse of the super leader. Yes, but if you look at the roster for León, they got some ringers in there. Players like Cota and
Well, they got
Montes.
Mena, and of course you can't forget JJ Mack, the stud.
JJ, they do. No, but Montes has won before.
Yeah.
And so has Cota. And they got some of these other. I think it's a few others, but they have the experience to back that up. That's right. They got Sambu. So I could see León taking this series. I think Pareja is the first time Liga MX, and he took Cholos to the Liguilla, so that's commendable. But I think León's run is going to continue.
But do you think they're going to win the whole thing?
Well, I think they're contenders, but it's hard to say, because I think they're, like America, Tigres, all of those teams could take, any of the other one out.
Because if you look at the 17 games that they've had this season, they only lost to what? Rayados and Chivas, right?
No, they tied. I believe they had two defeats only, I think.
Yeah, Monterrey was the second match of the season. 2-0 they lost, and then against Chivas. So it's like everybody else they've either beaten or tied. So it's like you would assume that going into Liguilla that this is like a clear, easy favorite to win the whole thing. But I don't know what it is about that. Watching them lose to Chivas, I was like, wow, you guys got exposed. But
I don't think the regular season matters as much when it comes to Liguilla. I think it's sort of just that you start from scratch.
But you got home field advantage for the whole run. I think that definitely plays a factor.
Yeah, you're right. So, they lost to Tigres and Monterrey. So they lost their first two games of the season, and then they bounced back. I believe they had a big match against Querétaro where they won 4-0, and then. Wait, am I looking at the right results?
They tied.
I don't think I'm looking at the right results. God damn it, never mind.
They tied Tigres and Monterrey at the very beginning, and then
yes,
the streak.
They remember they beat America at the Aztec Stadium. Was it like 3-0?
Mm-hmm.
They won on a streak, and then their loss was against Chivas.
Yeah, they went 12 games. They won 12 games in a row.
Jeez.
I know I got that one right. So they won 12 and then they lost that one.
And if I'm not mistaken, not just the best offense, but the best defense in the league.
Yeah, we were.
Which they did mess up in that Cholos goal. Their defense was sort of exposed there.
Oh, really? I didn't catch the game, but I just know that their goal difference, like the goals against, they only had 14 and 41 in favor. So it's like, wow. Like, have we seen a more dominant team in this league before? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know if you.
Maybe Toluca like comes in mind sometimes, but nah, not like this.
Oh, in recent time, yeah, even what was it? The French team gave Leon some props. I think it's Marseille. They tweeted out like something like oh, good thing we're not going up against Leon.
Oh wow!
It's just like the French Leon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. They just sort of like gave them props.
Yeah, I actually thought that Cholos would give them a little bit of a fight, but even because their fans, they're right on the end line and they're pretty loud and everything. I thought they would have like a little bit of a.
You thought Caliente was gonna be hotter.
Yeah, and I thought Leon was a lot of hype. But,
well,
not full on hype, but I thought that they would be a regular team going into Liguilla, but they've proved myself wrong, or I sort of want to say that they proved Cholos to be a lesser of a team. I want to see what happens when they go into the next round against.
Yeah, but if you see these players with Leon, to repeat myself, these guys they've all succeeded before. They've been in big games, and then to get them in that team, and some of them are older, but they do have that experience. Something you see very common with Italian teams, where they have these teams seem viejitos, bunch of dudes in their 30s. But they're
yeah. ¿Cómo se llama? Quadrilera? I forgot his name. He has like 20 goals in the league and he's 36.
For
in Italy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he plays for Sampdoria. And he just made a record about like being the oldest person in the league to have 20 goals in a season.
Yeah, and remember Kievo took it was Hellas Verona. I was in Kiev. It was Hellas Verona, and they took Marquez, and he was already like 34 when they signed him.
Mm.
Yeah, those teams are like they don't discriminate against us viejitos, man. And but those teams can be good. I mean, if you get the players and they're doing good and they have that experience, they could take you a long way. I think that's why Leon might not be strong for a long time, for that, at the same time. I don't think they own, what's this guy's name? Mena? Angel Mena, he belongs to Cruz Azul. And I think Cruz Azul wants to cash out or either get him back.
And they don't own JJ Mack either.
They don't, but they're willing to pay. So I'm hearing some 15 million, which is not really that much.
But it is in Mexico, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, we already seen in Mexico, like Pizarro going for 17
and then 18.
Yeah, and so I the news is that what is it? Eric Aguirre was the guy from Pachuca. She was supposedly signed, and so I think the number I heard was like 7.
They try to do some type of
because Grupo Pachuca. So it'll be the player plus money.
So what I don't understand is I heard that Leon is already ready to negotiate JJ Mack to Europe, and I'm like, how can you do that? I know you have the option to buy him, and you can trigger that at any time, but it's like going to Hertz, renting a car, and then going to a dealership and trying to trade it in. I'm like, wait, do you even own this car? Like, hold on.
Well, that was the clause. So I guess because it's the contract clause. So what was being rumored is that because Macias is going to the Under-20 World Cup, and if he has a good tournament and he generates interest from abroad, then that Leon will be like, you know what, we're activating we're activating the buy clause, and then they have, they have their like partnerships with I guess PSV and other clubs now that they're linked up with,
Hmm.
where it's like what they do is like they might not sell them for a lot of money, but then they do if like say they send them to PSV and then PSV sells them, they
Mhm.
get a percentage of that,
Right. Yeah.
which I think is gonna happen with um who was it? I think it happened with Jimenez. I think
Raul.
America got like 5 million
Oh,
more from the
I
yeah.
believe it. Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. So I mean, but I would say for
Hmm.
they would probably get money like that. So that's the possibility. But
The
I
partnership thing though is interesting, and not to get like too off topic, but I know San Luis got promoted and they're owned by Atletico, right? Madrid.
yes. Well,
So,
they own part of it, not all the
uh,
not the whole team,
and
just part of the team.
I know there was a rumor that quickly got shut down about Nino Torres possibly
Oh,
joining. You know,
yeah.
and he's like, "Who? What? Hell no!" Like, but I would like to see more partnerships like that where you get players that are, maybe can get trials at those teams, and then you're exporting our talent to a club that is already part of the process. I think that'd be awesome. And we need
Yeah,
more.
but they have more players. Teams like Atletico Madrid, and then they buy players and they have them scattered around, loaned out in second division teams or in other leagues. And I could see them sending some players like that. From this squad that got promoted, it had 6 Argentines and 4 Spaniards. So I need to look into them to see where they played before. But I mean, that's something that I could see them taking advantage of. That Mexico no longer has that foreigner limit.
So what was the other Liguilla game on that? Was it Wednesday? It was Tigres and Pachuca.
Yeah, Tigres.
Tigres,
And that was a
yes,
draw, 1-1.
yes, and that was for Pachuca. They have Palermo, and he's the other newbie. He's the other new bird for Liga MX and Liguilla.
Chivas should make Bofo coach
Palermo,
just for
and
that.
he's the other newbie.
Yeah, that's an interesting matchup because just to see if Tigres is going to step up their game. They did get the tie, in
Yeah,
so that's good. But
you
the
don't think they could do it at El Volcan, or do you want to see ferocious Tiger completely dismantle
I think
the Tuzos?
I think they will take it, but they got to be thinking of what's next. You know,
Of course.
if they do advance, they're going against Monterrey. If
Oh,
Yeah, again.
El Cucuy.
yeah, in the words of Miguel Saba, tengo miedo.
Well, maybe this time Tuca will put Gignac since the beginning,
Yeah,
not just throw him in at the end.
so that
Yeah, I
be
mean, that's always going to be a great rivalry, and it's always going to be like Monterrey right now has the advantage, obviously, but Tigres had some pretty good victories too, so that's always going to be one of those like a coin flip type of matchups. You just don't know. But yeah, you would have expected them to be a little bit more convincing versus Pachuca.
well, it was in Pachuca, so I'll give it the away. It was an away game.
Mm-hmm.
They have the tie advantage to go back home and take care of business, which I think they will, unless they get too scared of what's coming up next. Monterrey, we haven't gotten into it, but they didn't get they were away at Necaxa in Aguascalientes, and they didn't. They
They lost, right?
yeah,
And a red card, I think.
yeah. So they lost. I forget what player, but their goal, the Necaxa goal, was pretty nice. It was a cross in, got headed to.
But yeah, I think the Rayados could overturn that
Oh, of
at the
course.
Tamalera.
Yeah.
They got plenty of firepower to turn that around. They got Pizarro and Funes Mori, who I think has scored against every team in the league. Like he's has that record where he's like one of the few players that just have scored on every single team. It's crazy.
Damn.
He's in the perfect position to score goals. It works perfectly with their game plan and everything. And I just see their lineup being too powerful for what Tigres. Tigres is sort of like an over the hill, like we were talking about Messi and Ronaldo no longer being. That's what I think. Tigres and Gignac is sort of getting to that point. Whereas Monterrey is sort of the younger Pizarro. They have the younger guys coming in.
Yeah, more hungry.
I think we can safely assume that there will be at least one team from Monterrey that makes it to the final, right? I think that's a pretty good assumption.
Which it's showing the dominance. I was talking about this earlier in the Twitter sphere.
Talks,
oh yeah.
Money talks.
Pensé que habías terminado, güey.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, keep going, man.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just saying it's. Oh, Chiquis, you were gonna say something?
No, I think he said like something else. He didn't say let me talk.
I said money talks.
Oh, money talks.
Oh, I thought you said let me talk, and I was like,
no. I was like,
rude. How rude?
You're saying how like there's something special in Monterrey, and I'm like, well, it's money, man.
Yeah, it is. No, it is money. Not denying that. The two big corporations, FEMSA and CEMEX, and if they wanted to, they could pump even more money. They would just completely dominate. But we've been seeing it now. Just the last 10 liguillas. Just how often those teams are making it to the final and even playing the Conca Champions final, and how we're seeing those teams clashing, and it's going to become more regular that we see those two teams competing for all the trophies. So I mean, we just saw them play a final, and pretty soon we could be seeing them playing in another finals matchup.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's the game of football has turned into who's got the most money, and you're starting to see the connection between titles and money. I mean, look at Man City.
Oh yeah.
And Monterrey has just a lot of money, and you're seeing these teams win a lot of silverware because of that, and all of a sudden 13, 12 titles doesn't look so far, like in a couple of years, these teams are going to catch up to the, Chivas.
Yeah, no, I agree. If it stays, as it is now, because you never know.
Yeah.
FEMSA might just wrap it up and be like, you know what, we're gonna go sponsor Caminata now, or whatever, and then just leave, and then Monterrey would be pretty asked. But if they stay the course, yeah, especially with the 2 tournaments per year, we will see them. Which is one of the ways like Toluca caught up, and they're like 3rd place in campeonatos.
Yeah. And Cruz Azul's been chilling.
Cruz Azul, yeah, good way to go into the next, because Cruz Azul yesterday, man, must be heartbreaking for the Cruz Azulinos. I think it's 15 games now.
15 games,
where they haven't been able to beat America.
Oh my god! I mean, at this point, it's like we already know what's going to happen.
It's like Mari Pavic. America gets envelope. You are the father, dude.
That's a psychological blow, man. Because that's all over the news, not just in like podcasts or people trolling. It's like on Univision. They're talking about paternidad and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Think about like you're playing a game against somebody, and then they're known as your father, like your dad.
I think, and people just like, oh, here come the new memes, fresh.
It is. They're just waiting, right? I bet they're doing them as they watch the game.
Yeah, and then
you can see Chuy Corona at home, man, just like bawling if he loses this next. Well, when they get eliminated here in the next leg.
You think they'll get eliminated?
I'm thinking so, man. I know
Yeah,
people had good thoughts for Cruz Azul because they have they have a pretty good a lot better team. Their season started out really well. Caraglio was scoring some goals. Cauterucho wasn't too quemado, and they were doing good. But I don't
but
think
then they lose some injuries because they lost Elias Hernandez, right? He lost the whole season, or was that? Is he
yeah,
back?
that's correct. I don't think he's been playing. Alvarado played good, I think, last night. He was controlling things in the midfield offensively, but uh, but yeah, it's just on the defense. I think actually that guy used to be with America. What is his name? Pablo Aguilar,
Yes.
the defensive for Cruz Azul. He was not doing too well. But I think America joins into the clubs we were talking about with the money because they have a stacked lineup as well. Ibarwen and that other dude that scored. Um, they have a lot of offensive players, and then Orvelin coming in, Henry Martin coming in also as substitutions. I think it's gonna be uh, America beating Leon even coming up next, and they're gonna be a serious contender to win it all.
Is
America.
the bracket already set up for that matchup?
Yeah, I've got it up on the Twitter. It's America, Cruz Azul, and Tijuana Leon on one side, and the other two on the other side. So that's the way it's set up per Wikipedia, at least.
Okay, so we could potentially be seeing um, America León and Rayados versus Tigres.
Yep, exactly. That looks to be
Those would be good games, very good games. And just quickly, I want to add uh, what we've been seeing with, because Piojo dominated Caixinha. I remember a lot of the Mexican press when Caixinha was at Santos, man, they were bending over, spreading their cheeks, and just praising that guy and talking about how he brought all this, you know, modern techniques and his European savviness. And then he kind of sucked after he leaves. After he leaves Liga MX, he kind of got bounced around.
He went to
And
Rangers,
now,
right? And
yeah,
and
he cost him a
he scouted Gullit and
coolie,
¿cómo se llama? El
Lalo.
Lalo. Yeah.
Yeah, the Tronco, the Pumas
And
Tronco that almost made it to Chivas, man.
and
Um,
somehow Gullit is still out there in Europe.
oh yeah, he's like in the Polish like fourth division or something. They pay him in shots and $50 and a 12 pack of girls or whatever. He's happy. No, but just Piojo because he's been very dominant. And if it had been, I feel if it would have been like a foreigner, like if he was Argentine or Spanish, that the Mexican media would be just praising him. And there was a stat that came up of how many goals they've been scoring off of set pieces. And I remember when you know, when JCO was a selección and they would talk about, you know, they'll give him credit for stuff like that. And here you have like Piojo doing some records and it's almost being ignored. And he's setting up some pretty mighty records, and even like head to head against rivals and all of that. And then Nacho as well. He hasn't gotten as much credit as he deserves.
Well, I mean, can you blame us for being a little bit critical of Piojo? Because like he's been a coach for how long? And he's only gotten like 2 league titles, and and he just recently won a Copa MX. So it's like people put him on this pedestal, and it's like I get it. He's a great cheerleader, and he kind of reminds me of Barney Rubble. But, but it's like let's look at the actual silverware and what he's accomplished in his career, and I mean, I'm not impressed.
Well, I mean, his numbers, it's not just titles, but it's like his overall performance in Liga MX.
Mhm.
So when he's been like he was at Cholos and his previous stint at America, he has been on point. So not it wasn't always the case like throughout his career, but
Yeah.
at least I would say for the past what since like 2012. So maybe it's almost going on. Yeah, since like 2012
Yeah.
until now, he's been pretty consistent. So I mean,
Oh,
that's very difficult to keep that level of consistency of you're always because yeah, at the beginning he was getting relegated and his results weren't there, but for the past what is it now 7 years, he's always finishing at high in the league and he's fighting campeonatos. So I mean that's his. I would numbers wise, he's probably the best
so
coach in the
I'm
league.
looking at his Wikipedia right now. He's got a total of 644 games that he's coached,
Yeah,
and his overall win percentage is 43%, which is, I mean, that's pretty good. Almost half of the games he's coached, they've won. And as of right now, with his stint at America, he actually has exactly 50% win percentage. So yeah, I mean, he has been really consistent in the
yeah.
last couple of years. Um, but it's weird because in Liga MX we recycle the same coaches and they're on this carousel. And like you look at all these people like La Volpe and stuff, and like, wait, how many league titles do these fools actually have? And it's like not that many, you know?
No, yeah, yeah. La Volpe is the one. He's he's one that's played the longest without not winning as much. And then Tuca has been very successful though.
Yeah, I would say he's probably like him and Vucetic are probably like the best Mexican coaches we've had.
Yeah, with the most winning, like with the most, they have the most league titles.
Yeah.
But I mean, using Piojo, like he could still be in let's
He's
just
got
say how old he is. He's
he's got
51.
he's got a long way to go.
Like let's say he coaches for 10 more years. I do think he'll rack up a few more silverware.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure.
Yeah,
Did we cover all the Liga MX games already? We talked about Cruz Azul. What was the other one? It was yesterday. Necaxa. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that one.
Yeah, we had them. Yeah, we talked about them that they might get smacked back into reality
So
once they go into Tamalera.
can we all agree we're looking at like, what is it, León versus America and Tigres versus Monterrey? Is that what we're looking at right now?
Yes.
Going through.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So Chiquis, you see going off of what you said, your potential final is America versus Rayados.
Yeah, I think so. That loss to Necaxa sort of has me wondering or worried a little bit. I was thinking, it wasn't too long ago when Monterrey won the Conca Champions, and once you go off that high, and you feel you accomplished everything, the motivation, I don't know if it comes back.
But you're talking about Rayados, man, and they really won a league title.
Yeah.
They lost 2 at home already against Tigres and Pachuca.
Okay, so that may not affect them. I was just thinking, okay, Monterrey just won Coca Championship.
Hey, but they sweeten the deal. They'll say, hey, you guys bring home the doblete. We're gonna
they could
give this bonus here. Give you some
just looking on the other
podólogas, huh?
Yeah, on the other side of the coin, though, America, they won Copa America. It was a while back longer. They've gotten over that and they're focused in on the league.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but they've been gunning for the doblete since last season.
Yeah, so
they made a point of that, and the players know it. Like they make sure that they to drill that in, saying, "Don't think you're accomplished just because you won the cup."
So did I hear this correctly that we're not going to have a Club World Cup this year?
Oh yes, you are correct, sir. 2 more years.
So then, what's the point of having a CONCACAF Champions League?
Oh, because it's because it's the regional tournament.
I guess, but it's like hey, you're not going to Disneyland this year, and you're not going next year. It's like what?
Yeah, but I mean, I know it loses a bit of like, but I still think it's important to be
To
dominant in the region.
show how
Uh,
the gap is not closing.
at least not in the field. Um, but I think they want to do like they want to get rid of the confederaciones, and then they want to have a bigger clubs World Cup, like more teams and a tournament style. But the European teams, they don't want to do that.
I mean, while they figure that out, can we just play some freaking Copa Libertadores? You
Yeah,
know,
well, there's the negotiation thing going on, so it's still up in the air. Um,
it's
with
like no,
that,
it's like I beat up my little brother so many times. I just like I'm ready for a new challenge, bro. Like,
And I think in South America, they're like, I don't want my little brother to
oh yeah,
beat me up.
of course
And
not.
they do.
no, they want
They want the
Kikis.
money, but they
Yeah,
don't
they
want
want the
they don't want the
money.
ass beating.
Yeah, they don't want to get humiliated in their own home and their own confederation.
And
Yeah, but they don't see it like that. Like I don't think
I don't know.
not
I don't
not
know,
not the
man.
teams. No, they got some pride. I don't think Brazilian teams, that they think that they're gonna get taken to school.
I,
Um,
I will say though that you drop a name like Chivas and they'll respect the fuck out of
oh
you.
yeah, that is
Like
true.
South American teams, they know that these Mexican clubs aren't a joke, and we've seen it time and time again where Conmebol has done everything in their power to give us a disadvantage. So it's like you want the money that the Mexican teams bring and the broadcasting and all that, but you also don't want to get ridiculed in your own confederation, tournament. And I think that's why you've seen a little bit of resistance.
But I don't see it as complete ridicule because at the same time, the Mexican teams are filled with South American players.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of we saw when Pachuca won the
Sudamerica.
yeah that cup. They keep changing. Remember they had Merconorte. I was confusing it with that one too.
Santander, and yeah, they just changed the sponsor, but it's still the same tournament.
Yeah,
But
no, but the one Pachuca one was like
Was
the
it
lesser
Sudamerica?
cup.
Yeah, the
I,
Sudamerica.
yeah,
I don't think
Sudamerica,
it gets
like
does
the
it sti-
Europa League of
yeah
of
does it still get played?
yeah, they still play it.
Okay, yeah. No, but they used to have like early 2000. They used to have Merconorte and Mercosur,
Mm.
which
I
was
just I just remember the anthem, and it's just like so. It still gives me chills, when I would watch Chivas play, and you hear like the Copa Libertadores, like the opera
oh
singing, and it's just like hell yeah, And I
yeah
miss
that
that,
was and
and I just miss seeing how far we can go, as like because the league, our league is very competitive, and people keep saying that it's not a top 10 league in the world, and I'm like, it is a top 10 league in the world, like, and Libertadores used to prove that because we would go far.
yeah I agree. I used to like seeing the games against like Chilean teams or even Uruguay, Brazil, Argentina. I used to
Mhm.
even Colombia. Those used to be really fun. It's good to watch, especially with Chivas, just all Mexicans. You wanted to see how they would match up. Um, yeah, hopefully they settle something. So there's been rumors of that there's ongoing talk, and they also want MLS, which I don't mind because if there's like Libertadores at the bank, that means that we could go see a Libertadores games in our backyard. So I don't mind.
I would love to see how a team like LAFC would stack up against Sudamerica.
Yeah, but just a chance to see like an official
Oh
tournament like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like, I wouldn't pass it up.
And that ambiente would be legit, because LAFC is one of the few teams, probably one of the only teams in the MLS that actually has an authentic vibe and a pretty good presence, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully, I missed. I know that John De Luisa had been asked about it, and I heard briefly. I forgot what he said. He was saying something about CONCACAF had to approve it or something like that, or that they have to like agree on the dates, because I think that's the main thing, the calendar.
Yeah, Libertadores has a awkward schedule, right?
To be honest, I don't know, and I don't remember it being a problem before. But that's one thing that Liga MX has all of a sudden said, you know what, we're not cool with those dates.
Because I
You
know
need
I want to say it bleeds into the international dates for like tournaments, and I think that's what happened in the past.
Well, I do think Cornball needs some of that sweet money,
They
so
do.
hopefully they come to an agreement. I want to see some more, because I do feel Chivas fan, I do feel robbed. Right when they were scheduled to go, they canceled that.
Oh man, nothing boils my blood more than like seeing these clubs not release their players anymore. Like Monterrey won't let some of their players go for the was it for
For the
the
under
under?
under 20, yeah.
I'm like, man, we gave up all our goods for and it's like, come on, man. Like Chios had a really good chance of winning when they beat Boca when it was that 4-0.
Yeah,
They were on such a great run, and then Copa Confederaciones comes around, and then boop, everyone's gone.
yeah, that was messed up because he even took it was a Volpe, and he called like 5 players from Chivas,
Hmm.
and Chivas had Corona Jose. They had
And
Corona.
they took him too, right?
Yeah, and even though he was gonna be the third keeper, like, because they had, I think they had Osvaldo and Memo. So it's like, dude, you're not gonna use him, and you're still taking him. And he had looked really good in the games he had played with Chivas. So that hurt, man.
It's like, no, no, no. That was supposed to be our replacement. He's like, well, I'm taking your replacement too.
He probably did it on purpose. He still had that Atlas Ardido, man.
And are you guys excited at all for the U20? Like those tournaments don't. I mean, I guess I'll watch it, but
Not excited, but I do find that interesting because uh, there's 2 big names for Mexico right there in Linus and JJ Mack. So
Mhm.
I just want to see how they perform. These are 2 guys that we're definitely going to be seeing in the national team in the future. They're going to be they're next in line to carry the team. So
Mhm.
I am interested just to see how they do.
Yeah, I just hope that they have a very standout World Cup, and hopefully for Linus at least they convince him to like stay at Betis, or they take him a little bit more serious. And then for JJ Mack to get out of Mexico as soon as possible.
But I think at Leon he's fine.
Yeah,
Like
he's
I
fine.
wouldn't mind seeing him like another season at Leon. If he continues playing at that level, because the best thing you could do especially as youth, is get as much playing time as you can,
That's true.
and that's how you develop the most. Like just playing,
Hmm.
just getting playing. I'd rather have that than he goes to some club and then he's just riding the pine
Yeah,
20 minutes here and there.
yeah. And as a striker, that's like that's like the worst like nightmare you can have.
Yeah, because and we talked about this in one of the other podcasts. Because I do see with like Mexico fans, there's this fear, uh, like if the player doesn't leave by a certain age, he won't be able to make it. But we saw with like Chicharo left, was it 21, and
Hmm.
then and right away he adapted right away to the EPL, and he scored like 20 goals that first season with Man U. And so this guy JJ Mack, he's 19, so it's not like
And he's a
he's
completely
good.
different type of player too.
Yeah, and even I forget his name, RJ. He left at what, 23.
Yeah.
Raúl Jiménez, he left at 23, and he didn't.
And he had done things at America and at national team level. I think.
I mean, he won a league title, right, with America.
Yes, I think JJ Mack needs more time. He needs
And
more.
yeah, and he won what's Olympic gold, right?
Didn't he get the Chilena?
Yeah, he did
Was still
against Panama. Yeah, he was part of the Olympic team. I don't know if he played much though. I don't know if he played.
I know he was
At,
part of
at
the squad though,
but he was in a team, and I think he won a goal scoring with America.
Yeah. Well, me as a Chivas fan, it just hurts to see JJ Mack not at Chivas, So it's like if he stays in the league and he scores, 10, 20 goals a season, it's going to really bother me.
But and Chivas been kind of cursed, man, because they haven't had like a standout player. Like they had Vela of that quality, and then Vela left at 17. We didn't
Was
even
it
get to see
17?
him. Yeah, he was 17. They took him to Arsenal.
He never debuted with
Or
Chivas. That
No,
bothers me.
nope, not in the first. At least not with the first team. And then Chicharo, we didn't get to see a lot of him.
Well,
Right,
yeah.
when he had that one standout season, and then he's gone.
Yeah, we can't even use him for the Copa Libertadores final, and he was a
That's
huge
the
We-
part
part
of
of
that.
us, man. They're like double
he-
handicapped. They're handicapped. They have to choose Mexican players, and then the Mexican players that are great end up getting opportunities in the
Yeah.
development to go to Europe. So
They get called for either national duty or they get poached. And then you have Ulises Davila too, who I mean, to be honest, he maybe had 20 games to his name before Chelsea came a knocking. So I guess I can understand why you guys aren't too eager to see JJ Mack get a contract. Because to be honest, yeah, he still has. I mean, has he done anything in like Liga MX? No, not yet. He's still got to get like I would say like 100 appearances before you start.
No, but I would say as a Mexican striker, I think he's ahead of the curve, just to be 19,
Yeah.
and I think he's the best. He's the top Mexican, at least for goal scorers. He had like 6 or 7 throughout the season goals.
8 goals.
He ended up having 8.
The next Mexican is like on the table is Camilo da Silva. If you even know who he is.
I never heard of that guy. Are you
Querétaro,
sure? Is he naturalizado though, or
maybe
Da Silva? Is he like Paraguayo?
probably Brazilian, maybe. Let's see another Mexican. Henry Martin with 4 goals, and JJ Mack with 8. And
Wait, did he score the 8 in the regular season?
yeah, it was in the regular season.
And then he just scored 1.
How many assists does he have? Because I feel like he has a lot of assists, no?
Yeah, Camilo da Silva, he's Brazilian, dude. No, I'm not gonna count him.
Well,
I'm not gonna.
I'm looking at the tabla de goleo, and
Okay.
the names it says Mexican or Argentinian, Chileno.
He's naturalizado. Not that I don't say he doesn't count as Mexican, but I'm saying that came through the Mexican youth system.
Yeah, disregard that then. It's Henry Martinez, the next guy with 4 goals.
That is definitely concerning, isn't it?
Oh, it's been for a long time. Just because, and I think it's because teams are always
like we can't
bringing the strikers from abroad. No, I do think that Mexico has because we've seen throughout the years. We you had Pelaez, you had Hermosillo, you had
Yeah, but those guys never went abroad. I mean, they might have, but
No, but I'm saying as far as like developing, like or bringing out talent, it's there, but the clubs just because of the short season, they need quick results. So a lot of players, they're not gonna get that much opportunities. They get like 2-3 games, and then if they're not scoring or contributing, they boot them out.
You might disagree with me on this, but I would say the 2006 World Cup was probably like the worst squad we've had in a while.
No, I don't disagree.
Kiki Fonseca, Omar Bravo, and Guille Franco. Like those are like the best we could have. That's like the best we could produce as far as strikers. What a shit show.
Well, yeah, Guille went injured.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was.
I thought that was
he was injured. Oh man, he just sucked in the. Yeah, I
Yeah,
confused it.
because I
So
remember
yeah,
telling
the
a friend
Sekis.
we had a friendly against England in the Wembley, and he started and he got injured, and then Chicharito came in. Yeah,
Good memory there,
yeah.
man.
But I guess like every top league, right? You don't really see like, for example, like in the EPL, you have Salah who's like leading, and then Agüero, and then Aubameyang, Sané. Like I had to read off like four names before you get English player
Yeah,
with
but
Jamie Vardy and then Kane. So
but you know what happens with some of those leagues, like in England and Spain, that they have really competitive second divisions. So a lot of like if they have some of the upstarts in those teams,
mhm.
uh, that's usually where they're getting experience.
Yeah,
And then before they make the jump to the within Max, that second is just not that competitive. You have a few teams that are good, but then you have a lot that are just
yeah,
you know
yeah. Definitely, the level of competition drops off, and then out of those teams that you have in the league, you have a handful that are even eligible to get promoted, which is to me makes no sense. It's like it doesn't matter how big your stadium is. If you won the title, you deserve to get promoted. Like that shouldn't have to stop. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, they're trying to improve the league, like make it more marketable, and I think that's part of the standards because um, that they want clubs to meet because they want to avoid some of those shit shows that we've seen with like Chapas. That they owed wages on players for months, and then we're seeing it with Veracruz, where
but they're gonna
you
stay,
know
right? That's what I heard.
today, right? I think today's the day that Cudi has to, you
Cough up
know,
the six
yeah,
million.
the 6 million. That's not, with the Chivas being relegation zone, and I read sometimes about fans and they're worried. Like, what are you worried about? They just pay the 6 million and you stay.
Yeah. So like, is there even going to be teams getting relegated anymore if they can just pay to stay? Like, are we
Yeah,
gonna are we gonna end up like MLS with like 30 teams?
I think that's something that they want. I think the league wants to make it more profitable for owners. So I think that's why they want to get rid of Descenso, um, which it makes sense, you know, because um, that's a reason you could say why there's not any more investors coming into the Liga MX clubs.
I mean, some of these teams in the second division have better stadiums than in the first. Like Zacatepec has a nice stadium, man.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying there's not that many uh, people willing to buy in,
Yeah,
like to buy into the clubs.
yeah.
That's why like FEMSA and CEMEX are being so dominant. And then for so many years, Cemento Cruz Azul and Televisa also were able to stay dominant. They're big corporations, but there's more other corporations, but they've been reluctant to buy in because they're like, we could just lose money, especially if the team gets relegated. So
Mm, so
it's yeah.
they're
So
trying
you
to
see
say,
it,
hey, like if you do it, like we won't, kick you out.
yeah. Well, that's why like in MLS we see LAFC they bought the team for 100 million. That's how much it costs for the franchise, and we're seeing
Man, what a
Veracruz only
bargain!
has to pay 6 million. It's like, damn, that's quite the difference.
Yeah,
And then the new clubs that are coming in because they're expanding, they're gonna pay 200 million to go into the league. And I mean, I don't expect uh, some club Liga MX buying into the league at that amount, but certainly more than 6 million, and at least some corporation like Comex, and there's other, maybe even Bimbo,
hmm
that would own a team and they don't have to worry that the next season they're in Segunda and then they just lost this massive investment. So if you're guaranteed, at least you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna put so much to build a stadium, and I'm gonna put this much more money to bring in some top players.
What I don't get is if you're on the sidelines and you're like an investor, how are you not salivating over the opportunity of turning Chivas into the club that everyone wants? You know, they already have a stadium. They just need someone to take it off of Vergara's dying hands, man.
Oh man, that sounds savage because he is dying. The last report from TV Notas.
Such a reliable source.
Such a anyway, it was the to go source for Marimar updates. But yeah, he supposedly has terminal cancer.
Man.
And they're saying he's in his last days. So I mean, but they've been saying that for a few months now. Any day now. So sounds like Castro. You heard news that he was gonna die every year, and then he was still dictator for like 20 more years. It's gonna be Vergara. He could die any day now. 10 years from now, he's still there. But yeah, no, there's a thing that they might sell the team, but I know that they are a big draw, at least for as TV contract. Televisa having they're gonna have a new station, I think a sports station here in the U.S.
I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, so I think if they get Chivas contract, then that's, they would have Chivas in America, and it's I don't know, man. I think because the whole Vergara situation with Angelica, and they're saying that she's still tied up somehow.
What?
Yeah, I was reading something about that. So I think that's why there hasn't been any we haven't heard anything recently about like any like real bids.
Yeah, dude. It's just a very tough time to be a Chivas fan. And then you get the announcement that Tomas Boy is staying on. Like, why, man? Why would you do this to
I like that dude, man. I like that dude. I'm a fan.
You like how he dances, Chiquis?
I like how he dances.
He has the boy stripe.
I have a legit question because I don't have the answer to it. Has he ever won a title?
No, sir, but he has reached one final.
Oh my watch.
It was Morelia versus Pumas, and it was like 8 years ago.
Someone told me that he used to be better than Zidane when he was a player. Is that true?
Oh, were you talking to John Jagu? That sounds like something John would say. No, he was not better than. He was really good player though. He was one of the best Mexican players.
Interesting.
I would just not put him at the Sisu level. Yeah, but his nickname was El Jefe, so that says a lot, man.
Yeah, no, definitely.
He's the boss, dude. No, you know what? I think he's not like, he doesn't have a winning record, but I don't think he's as bad as he's made out to be. He had like decent run at Morelia where he reached the semifinals like twice, and then ultimately the final when he lost.
Mm-hmm.
And then he saved Atlas from relegation. They were in the relegation zone. Remember they had Bravo on loan, and he was the coach, and that earned him a spot at Cruz Azul, and he was having a pretty decent season because he had like a 14 game unbeaten streak, and he had the team like, I think they reached the semifinals of the Copa MX. And I keep forgetting what happened, dude. He got into this like into altercation, but I don't remember if it was with a coach or with a fan. And after that, the whole team just crashed, and they ended up like not qualifying to Liguilla, and missing out on the Copa MX too. But it was like a big polemic, and I can't remember what happened. that sort of like threw a wrench into everything.
He actually, this is a fun fact. He started his managing career over here in San Jose for the Earthquakes. I did not know that.
Oh, damn.
1988. Yeah. And then
Oh,
Tapico.
and the NASL?
Yeah. I did not know that.
Damn, boy's been at it for a long time.
Wikipedia shows that he also won a title
What?
with Morelia at Superliga 2010.
Yeah.
Oh,
Remember
Superliga.
that?
Well, there you go.
Remember those days?
New England.
Superliga was fun, man. Yeah, I do remember those.
He has is that 38% win percentage, but to be fair, these stats are only from 2014.
Oh man, boy. Who were you expecting though, Jaime? Who did you think? Who did you think was gonna slide in and get in the Chivas?
So we were hearing names like Turco Mohamed.
Oh yeah, Turco.
We were hearing about maybe Chepo again. And then we were hearing like, last freaking the crazy names like freaking Lopategui and who else? Like there's some crazy names on that list.
Out of all those players mentioned, I would say the only one that I thought was a possibility was Turco, and he had just quit Huracan again. Because he had when he left for Cholos, he had just it's kind of the same. Like I can't get this team to play good, so I'm out. And so it's almost the same thing. Chivas has just sacked Cardoso, and all of a sudden you see Turco becomes available.
Mm-hmm.
I know he wants back into the Liga. He gets that sweet check, and I figured it makes sense because he's been at Cholos, he's been in America, he knows the league. He knows what's up,
Two titles, that's very impressive.
Yeah, he did pretty good at Monterrey despite losing in the final, but now it just he probably was asking for too much money.
But
Chepo, I never thought Chepo would, just because Higuera doesn't like he doesn't like him. They have beef.
I really wish they would get rid of Higuera. I don't like that guy. He's ruining the club.
But you know what? He made those 5 campeonatos possible.
Yeah,
would you trade those 5 championships? Like you would give them back so Higuera would leave?
No, I'm just like saying you've done your job. Now get out. You either
no, but if that was a possibility,
you either leave a hero or stay long enough to become the villain. And right now
he's already
he's the villain.
No, that is true. He did stay.
Who was the guy we had before him? The guy that used to be at the Luca. That guy was awesome.
Oh, it was Lebrija.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't there that long.
Yeah, we didn't really take advantage of him.
No, he quit though. He quit because Vergara was not letting him do his job.
Oh man,
he kept going over him, and he's like, "Hey, what
too
you
many
want me
Chiefs,
here for, man?"
not enough Indians,
Exactly, man. So he left. He said they didn't even tell him about the Chicharo deal.
Wow, it's disrespectful.
Because he said that he would have
stopped it.
He would have held, well, at least held on to him until after Libertadores or after the World Cup. I forgot which one was going to be first, but
yeah, because that deal happened in a very awkward time. It was like an April announcement, I think. It was like it was like this isn't even the transfer window to even like be doing this. All right,
And you know what I think it was like for Vergara, like just for him it was the stadium was gonna be they were gonna debut the stadium.
Yeah.
And then he was gonna that was part of the deal that Man U would come and play the first ever game. So I think that
it was a great game too, man. Chivas won that game and Chicharo scored against Man United.
And then he scored against Chivas, right? Did he score?
He didn't score against Chivas. No. His first goal with Man United was against the MLS All-Stars.
Oh yeah, man.
But I wish
Which
they
was
would
it
have.
even a goal? Wasn't it like a long pass and
It
then
was
he
a
like
sick
oh he
goal.
was offside or
He was onside.
oh he was onside?
Yeah,
It
and
was good goal.
I remember Giggs looked at Fergie and said 20 goals. But I wish
Oh
they would
man.
have added a clause like, oh, by the way, we have a big Champions League final. Can we use him one more time before we give him to you? You know, with Libertadores, like they should have negotiated that too, man.
Yep. That would have been because yeah, Chivas held its own against Inter and they held their own. I think if they would have had Chicharo, they would have just. I'm not
Yeah,
saying they would have won, but they would have had a better possibilities.
one of the best goals Marco Fabianen scored was in that final.
Oh man, you know what? That was one of the games where I was like devastated, or I stopped watching for soccer for like 2 years.
Damn.
I just went like cold turkey, man.
Wow.
Because I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get to see Chivas in a Liga final anytime soon.
Yeah, I think that's how a lot of Ajax fans feel right now. Like they're probably
Oh,
not gonna.
damn, Rob,
They're
that
probably not
sounds.
gonna. Yeah, they're not gonna see a run like that in a long
No, you
time.
know what? The last time was in '95, if I remember. I think '95
Yeah.
they go up against Juventus. Um, they had Edgar David as the one guy I remember. Um, and but yeah, it's damn '95. So
Yeah,
how many years has it been? Like
a long time.
oh, like 30 almost. Damn, 30 years, man. That's some kid was born and he's 30 right now.
Yeah, it was a fun run and you know, uh, I'm gonna do like my little prediction for Champions League final just because um, we had such great semifinals, but unfortunately, I actually see the final being a very, very boring match. And that's why I didn't want two English teams to be in the final because it's going to be one of those games that will probably be like 1-1 and they'll go all the way to penalties and it won't be, they're going to be a little bit too conservative, I think.
So you think they blew their load already?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, this isn't going to be one of those crazy back and forth, like edge of your seat type of games. No, it's going to be a very conservative match. And I think Liverpool will probably get it because they beat Spurs 2-1 in league play twice this season. So I would probably give my best bet to Liverpool.
Ouch. I agree with you. I wouldn't be surprised uh, if it does turn out, but I would. Odds are that the game's gonna
Why is
play
it
out just the way you say it.
What was that?
Oh, my bad.
I think that Cheeky's replaying what we're saying. What
I thought
Cheeky's
that was
what?
I thought that was your soundboard.
No, inadvertent soundboard. You guys ready to finalize it? I think I have a meeting coming up, but
Oh, well, we could just to finalize just some quick thoughts on Copa de Oro, and you were talking about the goalkeepers, how there's no one to take over after Ochoa hangs up his gloves, or is anyone that comes close to him? I would say talent wise.
As far as like young prospects, Gudinho, we all thought was going to be that person, and it looks like it's not happening. And then you have Jurado from Veracruz,
Yes.
who's really good, and then you have the typical suspects, Lajur and I don't know. I can't really think of any to be honest. Gota, but he's kind of old, man.
He is. He is. Well, I still think it's still early. I think Godinho and Jurado could still, they still have a few years to show us something. Um, but we were hearing the news of all these players that keep dropping off. Either they're not ready, or they don't want to play, or they're injured. So it looks like Chicharo might not come in. He's
He's
you know,
expecting a little Chicha.
yeah, his yeah, he's about to, and then the news just making the rounds that Vela said no, and then Chucky's injured. I don't know about the Catito. I don't know. I don't know if he got the flu.
I think that Martino is still a little bit upset about what happened
Right.
with his situation. And I think he's not even gonna merit a call up because of that. And then you have Ache, who is a free agent, and
that's right.
we still don't know if he's gonna stay or go to Atletico Madrid, but I don't think he's coming either.
Yeah, that's true. He said he wants to wrap up his situation first.
It's going to be one of those Gold Cups that it doesn't really matter who we take. We're still going to be in the final, I think.
We got Jimenez, and then this will be Pizarro's time to shine, man.
I know, man.
So with those two, I would feel confident.
And then, I think Alexis Vega and Gudiño got called up. I don't know if they're doing preliminary lists right now, but they both got called up.
They are in camp.
Yeah. So this might be one of those tournaments where you see Raúl Jimenez and Pulido. I don't know.
No, I don't think Pulido, man. I think that he took Vega over Pulido says a lot.
Well, I mean, what other strikers are available? Martin?
I'll take out Peralta from the old folks home. I'll wheel him out there, man. Put him in crutches and just put him in. Hey, watch him be more effective than Pulido.
I honestly think he would. He has a way better skill set with holding up play, and he's got a better shot from distance, I think. But
yeah,
I think unfortunately his time with the national team is done.
No, I know, but if you're lacking players, it's like, who do I take? So it's like, hey, I'm bringing this home. I'm gonna go look for him. He's like in Last Jedi when they go look for Luke, and he just wants to be left in peace.
And then, as far as the Vela situation, I'm not really surprised, but I will say this: I was watching LAFC's they have this documentary on ESPN Plus, it's 10 episodes. And there was a scene where Bob Bradley pulled aside their goalkeeper. I forgot his name, but he was like, "Hey, you got a call for the national team?" And I said, "No, because we want you to focus on LAFC, and you'll get those opportunities in the future." And I'm thinking, knowing how Bob Bradley is and how LAFC want to win a title, and Vela wants to be MVP, he probably had a similar conversation. And let's be honest, it probably didn't take much convincing to tell Vela to tell us to kick rocks, but it definitely does upset me.
Yeah.
Because what good is a player like Vela who wants to be the MVP, who wants to win a league title? What good are these acclimates if us as fans and countrymen don't get to benefit from this? Well,
I mean, not for the selección, but I mean, it's very important for LAFC as a club, so they could start cementing themselves as one of the top teams in the MLS. I think that's what they want, They want to try to establish themselves as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it just upsets me because it's like, well, that's cool and all. I'm happy for him, but if we can't use him, then, kick rocks, man.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, I wonder what will happen there. That press conference will be interesting.
And if you're gonna why? All right, if you're gonna do this, then why don't you just tell us hey, I'm done? Just make that statement, and it's fine. But this whole teasing is very upsetting.
Or we could trick them like we talked about in with other podcasts. We use the black selección uniform, and we play the game at the Bank of California. He won't even know, man.
I know.
He won't know.
We need to bring back those the kits that we wore where it was black with gold.
Yeah. And then we'll have Panama, whoever we're playing, wear the Galaxy kit.
Yeah.
Well, Chiquis has to go. He has a meeting or something.
Okay.
But I think that's all she wrote for now.
Yeah.
We're gonna see how the other Liguilla games play off, and then
Mhm.
we'll have another podcast to see if we were spot on or
Yeah.
pissing out of the pot.
So just to recap, we're expecting both Leon, America, Rayados, and Tigres to go through,
Yes.
and we'll see what happens.
Cheekies, did he leave already?
Yeah, I'm about to leave right now. So
Yeah.
I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening, everybody.
All right. You guys have a good one.
You too, man.